Better morning, Doc Al. Better evening, classmates. I, together with my group mates, Ma'am Amelia Luz Agbayani and Ma'am Christine Carl Bartonico, will discuss about commonality, which focuses on the three major stages of recovery, namely safety, remembrance and mourning, and reconnection. I, Jonna Crisita Payan, will focus on the safety group. The level or degree of pain and shock is lessened because it is shared by the community. Traumatic events destroy the sustaining bonds between individual and community. Those who have survived learn that their sense of self, of worth, of humanity depends upon a feeling of connection to others. The solidarity of a group is the strongest antidote to traumatic experience. Trauma isolates, the group recreates a sense of belonging. Trauma shames and stigmatizes, the group bears witness and affirms. Trauma degrades the victim, the group exalts her. Trauma dehumanizes the victim, the group restores her humanity. Mirrored in the actions of others, the survivor recognizes and reclaims a lost part of herself. And at that moment, the survivor begins to rejoin the human commonality. The restoration of social bonds begins with the discovery that one is not alone. The encounter with others who have undergone similar trials dissolves feelings of isolation, shame, and stigma. Participants of a group describe their solace in simply being present with others who have endured similar ordeals. Groups provide the possibility not only of mutually rewarding relationships but also of collective empowerment. Group members approach one another as peers and equals. Though each is suffering and in need of help, each also has something to contribute. The group nurtures the strengths of each of its members, and as a result, the group as a whole has a capacity to bear and integrate traumatic experience, and each member can draw upon the shared resources of a group to foster her own integration. In order to be successful, a group must have a clear and focused understanding of its therapeutic task and a structure that protects all participants adequately against the dangers of traumatic reenactment. Those who attempt to organize groups also quickly discover that there is no such thing as a generic group suitable for all survivors. Groups come in a variety of sizes and shapes, and no one group can be all things to all people. Different types of groups are appropriate at different stages of recovery, and the primary therapeutic task of the individual and group must be congruent. A group that might be well suited to a person at one stage of recovery might be ineffective or even harmful to the same person at another stage. People who have or had COVID-19 are sharing stories in groups online. Because so many people with an infection are asymptomatic, it can disrupt the feeling of being safe. More people are reporting experiencing symptoms of depression and anxiety now than this time last year, or even 6 months ago. That can be from having COVID-19, being exposed to the virus, or simply living through a pandemic. There are many online support groups. One is the COVID-19 support group, Have It or Had It, a private group on Facebook which is currently having 31,100 members. This Facebook group let a person who have or had COVID-19 to share their experience, strength, and hope to the community. Similarly, Philippines also have a Facebook support group which is COVID-19 Philippines Support Group. Now, I am going to play a video on how these support groups help people who have or had COVID-19.
The purpose of a support group like this is to have a community where you feel safe with other people who are not going to judge you and who are not going to try to put you in a category. Sorry. And are not going to try to tell you that you shouldn't be feeling that way. I'm Kate.
So my name is Jolda.
I'm Danny.
My name is Brandy.
My name is Leslie.
My name is Jared.
Hi, my name is Jessica.
And I have had symptoms of COVID-19 since March 11th.
I got it worse than my own 84-year-old father.
I was cleaning the commode and I realized I could not smell the Pine Sol.
There was nights where I had to hold my chest. I was fearing the worst and I thought maybe this is it.
I called my doctor back again because then my coughing started getting worse. And he thought it was, since I'm pregnant, I have heartburn with my pregnancy. He thought it was the acid reflux, kind of like GERD-like symptoms going into my lungs.
Midnight, I actually told my wife maybe we shouldn't sleep in the same bed because my throat's hurting more. We were preparing. We thought we were doing the right thing and trying to protect ourselves.
I have two young girls, and this is very scary, for them. We actually taped off my door with painter's tape to show them that they weren't allowed to cross that. And my youngest would sit there and read or just lay there and watch mommy. It's very difficult.
The last thing I do remember before they put me on the ventilator was that they were saying that if worse comes to worse, they said they would do anything they could to avoid it. They would probably have to induce me also. They did have to give me an anti-anxiety medicine before they put me on the ventilator because the mask, I apparently was freaking out because I couldn't breathe at all and I did not want to wear the mask and I was hyperventilating and all this stuff, and they had to do everything that they could to calm me down.
I'm telling everybody I'm okay, I'm gonna make it, I'm fine, don't worry. And at the same time, I'm making goodbye videos privately.
So there's a fear that begins to get in you that will this turn so drastic that you won't know what to do.
So in my daily round of Googling for information, I came across the New York Times piece that Fiona Lowenstein wrote talking about recoveries, and she mentioned that she had started a support group.
You feel validated, you feel like it's okay, and you're not just hearing it from a nurse and doctor's point of view.
Like, we all really act like a family. Like, if someone says, like, I have leg pain, does anyone have leg pain? We'll all be like, relax, we all have it too, you're gonna be okay.
So it isn't as much that you're getting the hope of, yay, it's going to end and I can expect the ending to be on this day. It's not that. It's at least we're all in the same boat. At least I got somebody to talk to while I'm here wondering when I'm gonna feel like myself again.
Do believe it truly helped me because I was beginning to go to a dark place because I felt like I was by myself going through this.
No one has been through this. So to be able to talk to anyone else who is on the same page with you has been a really good thing.
You don't want to be a victim. You want to be a survivor. But at the same time, you still need that emotional support around you to help you get through that. Even if it's in a group full of strangers, then so be it. You got to find it somewhere.
This variability in groups begins to make sense when matched to the therapeutic tasks of the three major stages of recovery. See the table provided. The first stage groups concern themselves primarily with the task of establishing safety. They focus on basic self-care one day at a time. The second stage groups concern themselves primarily with a traumatic event. They focus on coming to terms with the past. The third stage groups concern themselves primarily with reintegrating the survivor into the community of ordinary people. They focus on interpersonal relationships in the present. Now let's focus on the safety group. The therapeutic task of safety group is safety, and the group's work centers on establishing safety is present. The safety group focuses on self-care, and the group provides a forum for exchanging information on the traumatic syndromes, identifying common symptom patterns, and sharing strategies for self-care and self-protection. Membership is homogeneous in the sense that all participants have defined one common problem, and that the selection of group members can be inclusive and new members may join or new groups may form after a cycle of a few sessions. Participants are under no obligation to attend regularly or to speak. This flexibility allows each member to regulate the intensity of her involvement in the group. A person who simply wants to set eyes upon others who have had a similar experience is free to come once, observe silently, and leave at any time. Strong cohesion among group members is not required to create an atmosphere of safety. Rather, the safety comes from the rules of anonymity and confidentiality, and in the educational approach of the group. Group members do not confront one another. its conflict tolerance is low. Sharing a day-to-day experiences in such group reduces shame and isolation, fosters practical problem solving, and instills hope. And it is open-ended or repeating. The structure of the safety group is didactic, which focus remains on illustrating general principles through personal testimony and on learning from a common source of instructions. The group should be structured to foster the development of each survivor's strengths and coping abilities and to offer all group members protection against being flooded with overwhelming memories and feelings. The example of the safety group is the 12-step program. The 12-step programs are support groups for people battling a variety of destructive behaviors, including substance use disorders. They consist of men and women who share experiences, strength, and hope with one another. The 12-step programs encourage members to adopt a set of guiding principles called the 12 steps. Following the steps in order has helped people achieve and maintain abstinence from behavioral problems such as substance use disorders, gambling addiction, and eating disorders. I am done with my report. Thank you for listening. Now, Ma'am Bertonico will discuss about remembrance and mourning.